You could be doing all the right things in the gym, but you will still not look that good, not look aesthetic if you don't fix your posture, because it's one of the biggest factors that determines how people perceive you. So in this video, we're going to go into how to fix your posture instantly, because it's not even that difficult. Let's get into it. You don't actually get to see you walk. You don't actually get to see you chill. And so you don't realize that most of the time, most people have this posture with their neck protruding forward and this internally caved shoulder action. And that when you stand up, your hands fall in front of your thighs or in front of your pocket line instead of beside the pocket line like it should be. The first step, like with anything in life, is going to be awareness. You're going to have to become aware of the fact that your posture is not that great. When we talk of posture, I'm talking about healthy posture for looking good, confident, and aesthetic. But the healthy, confident, aesthetic posture is not the right posture for wrestling, right? Wrestling, you want this posture. So different posture serves different purposes. So while you have to realize this, that there's not necessarily a right or wrong posture and that the human body is very fluid, in this video, we are referring to that aesthetic, confident, relaxed, attractive posture that doesn't cause neck pain, shoulder pain, low back pain. Next, so how do you actually improve your posture to open everything up that gives you this proportionate V-taper rather than this caved in anxious look? Already the proportions improve. So how do you do that? The first thing is you got to learn to breathe down the front. What does that mean? Most guys carry tension in the front of their body, from the tip of their head down to this part, wherever you call it, to the neck, chest, all the way down to their genitals. Basically, there's all this tension because you're protecting yourself. You're wary of threats. And when you learn to breathe slow down the front, so imagine breathing in air through your nose that travels and fills your chest, opens your diaphragm, goes into the belly. Your chest shouldn't elevate. Your belly should be going out and in. 3 deep breaths should relax your mood, relax your posture, and relax everything down the front. Because posture is not just some fixed thing. Posture represents your mood in that given moment. If you go into a room full of like Google executives and you're a finance guy giving a finance presentation, your posture is going to be like this because you're just like a little bit intimidated by that situation. But if you had to give a finance 101 to your niece, your posture won't be like this. Your posture will naturally just be like this because you're relaxed. If you breathe and relax with regular intervals, your posture will naturally improve. Next, you go in the gym, what's the first thing you see? It's the mirror. You see your mirror, you see yourself, you're like, you know what? I'd like more chest. I'd like more shoulders. I'd like more biceps. So you do lateral raises, bicep curls, and bench press. But you don't put the same amount of attention and focus in the muscles in your upper back, the traps, the scapula, the rhomboids, the neck, the mid back, and even the lower back. But training the upper back is what's going to actually make your posture go from this to this. You see that? If I tense my upper back, this. You see how subtle that is? And that's what happens when you train the upper back muscles. How can you do that? You want to do chest supported rows, but instead of rowing close to your body, maybe you do rows where the elbows flare out a little to really target the upper back. But the exercise that I actually want to give you is what I call the Y face pull. It's when you do this face pull, most people do face pulls like this, but this is still, your shoulders are still internally rotated. You want to externally rotate the shoulder like this, so you form this trident. Poseidon's trident is what your arms and your head form. And you're doing face pulls like this with the long strap, and then you extend your arm out, and then you bring it back. Oh, this, if you try this, guys, is not only extremely good for your rotator cuff health, shoulder stability, it's going to hit your rear delts, it's going to hit your upper back traps. So a brilliant exercise to train the upper back, which is one of the first steps to fixing your posture. Next, train the external rotators. Now the Y face pull that I just showed you will do that, but the rotators, the external rotators, are the weak point of just about everybody that goes to a commercial gym, because everything we do, bench press, overhead press, again, is internal shoulder rotation. So you want to practice external rotation, external rotations with exercises like dumbbell external rotations, or what I like to call the Super Saiyans. And I named this the Super Saiyans because I think it looks like a Super Saiyan. It's when you get two cables in an X grip by your waist and you kind of just open up like this. You see, like a Super Saiyan just going crazy. This externally rotating the shoulder joint is such an important part of shoulder health and also your posture. You see, external rotation, your posture. So train the external rotator cuffs. Next, you know, in school I used to get in so much trouble for just doing this, like lying like this the whole time. And you can imagine my spine is just going to be bent like this, right? And this is how we spend most of our time, just bent and lying on our pelvis basically. So what you want to do is decompress your spine, and you do this by hanging, dead hangs. Just hang or graze your toes on the floor and let your hips droop low. This is my favorite way to decompress the spine. If you just hang for like 30 seconds and you do 3 sets, your posture will improve just instantly. Because it's almost like you're bringing all the alignment back in your body. It's almost like going back to the chimp days where we used to hang all the time. As if I remember the chimp days. But you can imagine how like our bodies were evolved to hang and swing. So just hanging is gonna really just elongate all of those compressed bones and you'll feel better. And it's one of the biggest hacks when it comes to naturally fixing your posture. The final point is to stretch the hip flexors, increase mobility in the hip flexors. This is probably the most underrated aspect of the human body. Yet it is probably the most utilized part of the human body. It's used literally when you walk, when you sit down, when you get up from bed, when you lie down on the bed, when you kick a ball, when you spin, when you punch, when you do anything and everything you do with your body, your hip flexors engage and allow you to do that. But most people, again, because of repeated seating and not enough activity and stretching, have very, very immobile hips and very, very stiff, weak hip flexors. Now, if you stretch it, it's almost like loosening up the entire lower body and upper body at once, because it's exactly the hip flexor at which the upper body and the lower body is joined. So if you can kind of imagine like the upper body, lower body, and the hip flexor is in the middle, and if you've got stiff hip flexors, the base is stiff for the upper body, so the upper body stiff, the base is stiff, so the lower body stiff. If you stretch it out and the hip flexor itself becomes like fluid, then it kind of unlocks that full body flexibility, mobility, and posture. And the best exercise you can do to do that is the ATG split squat. Now, a lot of people do ATG split squats for knees and as a leg exercise, but I like to do them as a stretch. So when you get into the ATG split squat position, don't really be thinking about how much weight can I push and how much reps and sets. I mean, of course, you know, do that. It's still great to do it like that. But I like to just sit in that position and really feel that hip flexor stretch and even extend my arms above head, tilting from side to side. And this is the best full body stretch on earth. I actually don't know anyone who does it this way because I combined the ATG split squat with something I learned from foundation training. So maybe I made this stretch up, but the ATG split squat overhand stretch, this is the greatest hip flexor stretch known to man, and it's gonna be another big step to fixing your posture. You do these things, guys, becoming aware of your posture, breathing down the front, training the upper back, training the upper rotators, training your hip flexors, decompressing the spine. No more problem, no problemo in your posture, okay? I hope this video helped. See you in the next one.